Okay.
Okay, and this is our list of ingredients. We have 3 eggs, 1 cup of sugar, 1 cup of flour, a teaspoon of vanilla, a teaspoon of baking powder, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and 5 tablespoons of water, which is basically a 1/4 cup plus a tablespoon. Okay? And then the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna grease this pan and we're gonna put wax paper in it, okay? Then we're going to spray the pan, this one with Pam. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start mixing this stuff up. So what we want to do is we want to beat these 3 eggs. 3 eggs. Until they're really light and fluffy. Okay? Okay, so the next thing we're going to do, those eggs are light and fluffy now, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add the 1 cup of sugar, okay? And then we're going to add our water, the 5 tablespoons of water. And let that beat for just a minute. The last thing we're going to do is we're going to add the flour, the baking powder, and the salt. Okay? Okay, so now I'm going to scrape the sides a little bit, and I'm going to get that little bit of flour and whatever dry ingredients are, kind of scrape the bottom a little bit, and then I'm going to start it up again, just for a few seconds. And when I say beat it for a little bit, I mean like 1 minute, okay? Now we're just going to pour it in the pan. The oven is set at 375. And I know that it doesn't look like a whole lot of batter in your pan, but trust me, it'll rise. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is we just kind of want to scrape this a little bit to the corners. Kind of, you know, kind of level it out a little bit if you can. This pan has been used so many times for this. This was Grandma Weitzel's recipe, and then of course it was handed down to my mom. And now my kids love this, and they're gonna love it too. Their kids love it. Now I'm gonna bake this for 12 to 15 minutes. Okay. So now after 15 minutes, it's nice and golden brown in spots. So the next thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put some powdered sugar on the top and spread it all around. Some on here. And don't be afraid to pour too much on because you can always dump it off. I don't like a whole lot on mine, so I end up dumping it off on the tea towel, which we're gonna, as soon as we're done spreading this on here, and yeah, it's hot, but you'll be fine. So we're just gonna spread that around. I'm gonna wash my hands. And then I'll show you how I flip it upside down on the dish towel. And I'm gonna dump some of this off too. All right, so the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna dump some of this powdered sugar off. Just like that. And that's plenty of powdered sugar to be on there, okay? So next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna turn this thing upside down, like this, on a dish towel. Take this off. And then, the next thing we do is we're going to pull the wax paper off of the cream roll, okay? So we're going to do that, and then I'll be back to show you the next step. Okay, so sometimes your paper doesn't want to come off real easy. So all you have to do for that, honestly, is just be patient and take your time, because it will peel back, and I know that you're gonna have some spots that are thinner than other spots, but don't worry about that, because once you fill it, you won't even notice it. So yeah, just be patient. If it's hard to take it off, just take it slowly, take a little bit at a time. Okay, so the next thing that we're gonna do, just got a couple little balls of powdered sugar left, don't worry about those. But the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna roll this up, because we have to put it in the fridge to cool off before we fill it. So just get a nice decent sized towel, and you have to roll this while it's hot, okay? Because if you wait, it's gonna break on you. Okay? So the next thing I'm gonna do is put this in the fridge for a little bit, and then I'll come back and show you how to make the filling for it. Okay, so while the roll is in the refrigerator cooling off, what we're gonna do is we're gonna prepare the filling. So the first thing that we have to do is we're gonna mix, this is my recipe right here for the filling. It's Mom's and Grandma's recipe too, but this is actually the recipe cut in half. I double that recipe because I like to have between half and a full recipe of the filling, because half to me it's enough but not quite enough, so we're going to double this. So we are going to take 4 tablespoons of flour and 1 cup of milk, and what you need to do is shake it up first so it's not real lumpy. So we're going to shake this up, and then we're going to cook it. And I'll show you exactly what we're gonna do. But the first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna shake this, try to get all the lumps out of it. And that's good. Looks good. Looks like a milkshake. Okay, so then we're gonna do this. We're gonna take it, put it in a small pan. And we're gonna continue to stir this until it gets into one lump. Just on a medium, between medium high, you know, just as long as you have control of it. But so this is all we're gonna do. We're just gonna continue to stir this until it forms into a ball. Okay, it's starting to get really thick now. So just continue to stir it. And see when like all of the sides can pull off real easy like that, then it's almost done. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this. That's good because it's now like into a ball. So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna let this cool off for a little bit, and then we're gonna add the rest of the stuff. We're gonna add this to the rest of the ingredients. Now that this pasty flour milk mixture is cooled off, we're gonna put that into the mixer, okay? And then we're gonna add the rest of the ingredients that I showed you earlier, okay? So the first thing that we're gonna add is we're gonna add a 1/4 cup of Crisco. Okay? And then we're gonna add a 1/2 cup of butter. I know what you're thinking, lots of fat, fat, fat. It's also lots of yum, 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 trust me. Okay, so then we also have 1 cup of sugar. And again, remember when I showed you the original recipe, I told you that that was half a recipe? Well, this is that recipe times 2. So this is the original recipe for the amount that our grandmother used and my mom used and I've used it. The last thing we're gonna put in there is a teaspoon of vanilla. And we're just gonna let that beat for a little bit, okay? Okay, now that the cream roll is cooled off, I'm gonna whip this just for 1 more minute. I've already whipped it on high for about 5 minutes to make sure that all the sugar is dissolved. So I'm just gonna whip it for another second here before we put it in the cooled off cream roll. So next we're gonna unroll the cooled off sponge cake, which is called cream roll because we always put cream in it. Never put jelly in this. I can't even imagine what that would be like. But unroll it pretty slowly because it can crack real easy too, okay? So just take your time getting it off of your dish towel. And you can add more of the powdered sugar if you want to, but I don't because the filling is sweet enough, trust me. Okay, so now it's kind of all broken free of the towel. I'm gonna add the filling. Okay, so now I've got the filling here, and we're gonna put the filling in. And sometimes mine's a little thicker. I'm not sure why. Mine's a little bit thin today, but mine's a little bit thin today. I'm not real proud of it. So I think maybe what I did was I was too anxious to get the video done. So I added all of my ingredients to the flour and the milk paste. I think I added it too soon. So once again, you have to have patience when you make this, but I didn't have patience today, but I'm preaching it to you. Okay, so that's all. And then just roll it back up slowly, okay? And don't worry about that not having cream because it's gonna spread in there, trust me. So that's all there is to it. And you can sprinkle, you can sprinkle your powdered sugar on top if you want more. I don't. So I'm just gonna wrap this in aluminum foil, and then I always put a roll of saran wrap on it too to keep it moist. So just slice it and serve.